Hello and welcome to another KurtzPel video. I'm Zelp and today we are probably gonna derank ourselves, not intentionally, but because we are going to try and train a new weapon. So all this time I've been training my weapons in my own pace, in my own time. I do not record them. And so far those fights that you actually see me do is when after I got slightly decent with the weapon. So right now I'm pretty good with the hammer, I'm pretty good with the fist. I use them a lot, and the Slayer weapons not so much, but I am okay-ish with the bow because I run with fist bow, and I'm okay-ish with the staff because I run with hammer staff. However, I am really bad with the great sword because I never played them, and also the dual souls, which I tried to get good at, but I'm still pretty bad because I didn't put enough time into it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm also gonna share with you my thoughts on how you could improve really fast, especially if you are new to the game. So we're gonna learn the great sword, so let's put that on, and also dual souls, so let's put that on as well. So we have a lot of swords on this. One of the things that you can do if you don't know what skills are good is you go all over to the Stone of Honor. Now this is more for newer players. If you are a OG in this game, you probably wouldn't even need to listen to this particular video. But yeah, you can come over here, you can see who places the sword. Let's say this guy, which is at second place. Now again, I want to point out that there is some flaws in the ranking system, or rather the season doesn't pass. Until now we're still in like season 1 or season 0, so there was no change in season, which means people like, I believe this guy has been here for I don't know how long, but I never seen him in game before, and the hours contribution seems to be the same all the while. So I don't know, maybe he actually stopped playing the game, but he's still at rank 1. So there are some problems with the current system, but the fact that they did manage to get this far is probably kind of means that during the early days they grinded and they are good enough to beat most of the players. But then again, during the early days, there might not be a lot of good players. I don't really know. And also starting to see some familiar names, like this is Alice, might actually be the same person. This is Ballery, this is Ballery, again, might be the same person. They are also using similar weapons, maybe a different count, maybe a second character, I don't really know. But what you can do here is you can look at what weapon they're using. And if they have a great sword, you can actually copy what kind of skills they use. Now, I actually recommend maybe not looking over here, especially if you feel like the guy did not play for very long. So what you can do is maybe you can look at the contribution hours, and let's say this guy, Crazy Sola, he did play the sword for at least 82 hours, and he had 1,000 plus wins. So he seems to be more, I would say, experienced with the sword. So maybe you can follow his build instead. There's also that problem where if they are really no longer here and they stop playing, that the builds that they have is outdated because there are patches, there are upgrades to certain skills, certain things has changed, meta has changed. So you do have to consider that as well. Feel free to go to YouTube and look at what is the latest stuff. I think that kind of helps as well. Another way you can do is really, if you see someone in high rank, so you know that he's playing, let's say this guy, which is a C rank stage 5, you can actually go close to him, press interact, and then look at chaser info. Then you can see the things that he has or the skills that he used. Sadly, that was not a great sword. Now, for me, I personally like to test things out. So I'm not a huge fan of relying on just information that I get. I don't really like just doing what a secondary information is given to me. I like to figure things out myself. So I believe back when I tried to max this thing out, I was using this. I don't really like Fortitude, although I know it's really, really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this to a stun. This is leap, so it helps me move around. I think that's pretty good. I think Storm Slash is really good as well, but I feel like the stun hit and also land demolisher is just so OP in certain ways because they have really good breaking power. So what I'm trying to say is that if someone uses a skill and you uses one of these skills, there is a really high chance that you will win over him. So if you two use the same skill at the same time, you'll win. Even sometimes, even if you use it first, you still win. Sometimes, depending on what skill, depending on how much endurance that skill provides him and stuff like that. There is some skills, very rare, like for example, the fist, he has retaliation, which is one of the stronger endurance skills. So you might not be able to win that, but you can win every other skills, every other of his skills with more. I think all three of these can break any other of his skills. So yeah, there is some bias to Greatsword in my opinion. Greatsword is actually really strong. Okay, now that we are done, I usually start with some warm-ups. Now, the warm-ups are PvE, and what I do is that I make sure that I join a PvE where there is a character in it that is performing similar to players. So to me, I feel like those missions includes missions like, where is it? The there you go, Intrusion of Dark Elf. This one, the blue elf, the one that uses I think her name is Nay or something, that uses bow. That girl kind of behaves very closely to humans because her endurance bar is somewhat low as well. And then there's also the attack of Black Fang, the small kid that is playing with which is paired with the tiger, or yeah, with the cat. So the small girl also behaves a little bit like a player, so you can play these and just get a feel of what kind of combo you can do. It's a little bit harder with the Black Fang because not everyone can solo the cat. However, with the Dark Elves, I feel like a lot of people can kind of solo with the Shay, I think her name is, the red one. So if we can somehow pull the archer away, you can actually practice combos with the archer. So the other method of warming up is of course the training ground, which makes a lot of sense. There's a dummy that also kind of reacts like players, and you can just practice all kinds of combo on it, but we're not going to do that. Instead, we are going to go to PvP. Now, among all the different PvP currently available right now, I feel like this Regine's Monastery Dungeon is probably the best one to train. Now the reason why is because this is a conquest. There's two platforms they need to capture, and a lot of times people are going to split up, so you actually get a sense of one-on-one with the opponent. And this is important because it's harder to learn in a 2v2 when everything is a mess, when there is sort of like a feeling of a third party influence, and it's harder for you to learn, it's harder for you to grasp what skills is good for what situations. However, when you get to one-on-one a lot, you start to understand, oh, this ability is good against that ability, and then you can start seeing how to counter them. So whenever you see them trying to do something, you know how to initiate such that you will not be the one at the losing end. Now you have to make sure that you put your pride away when you're learning. You want to be humble, you want to be able to try things. So you have to forget about your rank. Like, just let it go down, because at the end of the day, even if it goes down, if you learn more, you'll potentially get even higher than you were before. So that is the sort of like the thing that you have to tell yourself and have to keep in mind. So the rank, seriously, at this point, is just a number. Just let it go up, let it go down, do whatever it wants to do. But the important thing is that first, of course, you have fun. Second, of course, is that you're learning as you're playing. Now, I really want to get into this mission to show you guys, but if it's really too hard to get in, maybe I'll just have to play a deathmatch. Now, deathmatch is also not too bad. The reason why is that in deathmatches, most likely you can also pull one character out. Oh, nice, we got one. So technically, there are conditions where you can still go on a one-on-one. However, some of the missions like capturing the flag, and there's the other conquest where it's only one platform, you'll definitely have everyone in a mix, and in those situations it's really hard to practice, to learn. So we loaded in late. You can see that they are already fighting, but then we load in, so it's like there's really nothing much you can do. So this is the retaliation that I was talking about, and it is really nice. Nice one. Oh, get back in, get back in. There we go. I actually do not know the combos yet. So one of the great sword's ability to do this, and it kind of prevents them from coming in. It's really OP in my opinion. So another way that you can improve is, of course, during the time that you're waiting, be efficient. You know, don't just stand around. You can always go to the training ground while waiting. And what I like about this game, one of the parts, is that when you're in training ground, the queue is still running, and that is just really good. Because if they were to make it otherwise, then it kind of forces you to just stay idle and waiting for your game to start. Okay, I'm really bad at my mana management, so I really need to work on that. Yikes, bro. We just need one swing and I'm dead. Nice one. Okay, so what I learned there is that I have some mana management issues, which I feel like I shouldn't be using these cooldown reset thing, because it just prompt me to want to use them more often. So instead, we're gonna use some kind of reduction. I think that would be better, so that we can use them more. So unlike the hammer, where you have so much mana because of your INT build, this is just so much more different. I'm not too sure, do I even need this for the stun?
Ready for combat.
Can they escape my stun fast enough before I do a launch? So I think I'm gonna remove this, change it for something else. Okay, and then we are going to queue again. With hammer, you can charge and you just touch the guy and it'll trigger. But with this, it's different, and I don't really know the range, so I need to get used to all the range as well, so that I don't go too close when trying to perform an ability or a skill. But I feel like for sword users, great sword at least, if you're really good, relative to someone that's really good at fist or someone that's really good at hammer, I feel like if you're a sword user and you're really good, you can outplay the other breakers, simply because you have so many more good counter skills. Skills that you can use at the same time they are using, and you still win. And I am going to get demoted, which is fine. In fact, if you get demoted, that means that you get to pair up with people that is not too pro, that will overwhelm you and you won't be able to do much. So it's actually a really good thing. Okay, let's shoot him off for now. Yeah, it's actually really easy to dodge the it's very easy to dodge the black hole. You just need to know the timing and when to tumble. Yikes. Oh, I dodged that too soon. Okay, I'm trying to get back. Oh, actually I don't need to go back. He needs to go back. Whoa! Is this my first kill? Oh boy, here comes the ulti. Ooh, did I dodge it? I don't know. Oh, this is the largest swing ever. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the video. Hopefully it will help you in your journey to become somewhat really good. And we're actually going to be seeing how well I'm able to learn the Great Sword. And maybe I'll make another video to show you the outcome of my training. So with that, we're going to end it here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.